Good day, friends. As we transition from Maundy Thursday to Good Friday, Dr. Paul Hinlicky, Lutheran theologian, wrote this. Apropos of Maundy Thursday, I have written a lot on every Christian's, and I quote, Gethsemane of the soul, and have also written about Martin Luther King Jr.'s theology. But I never knew this quotation from a sermon, which I now know thanks to Lee Wyatt. Martin Luther King Jr. wrote, "One must learn to make the transition from 'let this cup pass from me' to 'nevertheless not my will, but thy will be done.' And God grant that as you face life with all of its decision, as you face the bitter cup, which you will inevitably face from day to day, God grant that you will learn this one thing, and that is to make the transition from this cup to nevertheless. This, you see, is the thing that determines whether you go through life devoted to an eternal cause or whether you go through life depending on your own finite answers, which really turn out to be no answers. This is the thing that determines whether you can rise out of your egocentric predicament to devotion to a higher cause. This is what Jesus was able to do, and this is the lesson that he presents us today. From a sermon, Garden of Gethsemane at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, Montgomery, Alabama, 14 April 1957, by Jim McClanahan, who recorded that. May we meditate on that thought. Yesterday I was reading a piece that I'll conclude today, the question of why. Why was it necessary that a close friend betray Jesus, according to Michael Cart? Why, you might ask, did my loved one have to die? Or why do the innocent suffer? All these whys set the mind vainly running in circles. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, the well-known theologian, says the only question that really matters is who, not when or what or why. Asking the question who leads us to Jesus. Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Bonhoeffer is right, of course. Why questions are ultimately of no use to the believer. So why did someone supposedly committed to asking who put so many why questions into a song? Well, I've been playing with these questions for quite some time, trying to make them sound lyrical, which is to say, trying to make them sound pretty. But they aren't pretty questions. The three questions which make up the verses of the song were all finished. I had planned to write one chorus which would answer all three, and that proved to be impossible as questions themselves. So I did the only thing a committed seeker of the truth could do. I gave up and put them away in a drawer. Weeks later, I was awakened in the night with three separate choruses going through my mind, something that had never happened before and has never happened since. To my trilogy of vain, cynical questions, the Lord gave me three unexpected answers. Why did it have to be a friend? Only a friend comes close enough to cause such pain. Why the thorny crown? Because in this life, the only kind of crown the world would give such a lover is a crown of thorns. And why did it have to be a cross? Because the cross is the place for a thief. And Jesus had come to steal the world's heart away. Every time I listen to my song, I hear two separate voices, my own pessimistic voice asking the why questions, and another gentler voice speaking wonderful answers. As we transition from Maundy Thursday into Good Friday, may we meditate on God's presence, peace, and power to transform death into new life.